the chakra came and how? So now one question could arise. Oh, Krishna, you promised 100 times, but even why 100? What is so magical about this number for one? Why even then, after 100 insults, you who's been exalted among so many people, why would you come to a level you'll kill somebody for this thing? Only 100 word insults. What was the real secret to why Shishupal was killed?
Arrogance?
Arrogance? He's arrogant, but that's the biggest problem. So many people are arrogant.
I mean, besides the fact that he was dying,
Besides background, in the course of uttering the offenses to Krishna, in many of the offenses, he included Krishna's relationship with devotees. Therefore, the offense was not only to Krishna, but it was to devotees. This was the secret to Shishupal's being killed. Krishna can tolerate so many things. Right? How many times have we offended Krishna over the course of how many births we've been in the material world? Just by ignoring him. Right?
just by coming here.
Just by coming here and ignoring him. We've been here since time immemorial, but just by ignoring him is an offense. Right? Because there's one offense. There's 6 offenses to a Vaishnava. What's 6 offenses to Vaishnava?
So not to become happy.
Hanti, Nindanti, Vaidveshti, Vaishnavam Navinandati, Krujyate, No Harshanam Darshane. To fail to welcome. Bhagavan is coming to your heart. Now you have some understanding. Therefore, when you go in the morning, what do? Swagatam, Idamasanam. Right? You welcome Bhagavan because you know now. But all the times you've been there, you don't have anything to say to Bhagavan. Paramatma's just sitting there. Not even hello. Dog's body, hog's body, even when you get your human body, I don't have nothing to do. Understand? But still, Super Soul has been with you. You make a relationship with any person and you ignore them. You do all kinds of things which are against their personal desires. How long they'll stay with you? Very long. Check the divorce rate now, and that's supposed to be the deepest kind of love. Check divorce rates, right? So nobody will stay with you like that. Nobody has loved you like Super Soul. And the external manifestation of Super Soul is Shri Guru. You understand? But Shishupal, her 100 inserts, Krishna will be affected? No. This is the highest form of Bhagavan. Because offenses to devotees were in those offenses. But then another amazing thing happened which became more wonderful. When Sudarshan Chakra came, immediately the head of Shishupal fell off and his Atma came out glowing. And went right into the lotus feet of Krishna. So Yudhisthira Maharaj, everybody in the assembly was amazed. They knew what had happened. He's obtained Sayuj Mukti right in front of our eyes. But then another question came, wait, how is it, Parikshit Maharaj asking Shukadeva, how is it if he was so envious of Krishna that he obtained Sayuj Mukti? So then Parikshit Maharaj told, so then Parikshit Maharaj told, if you become absorbed in Krishna, by fear, by envy, by calm, by any means, still you can obtain Sayuja Mukti. Now here's another question, and then I'll try to, because there's so many things in this Leela, it's mind-blowing. How is it that Jai and Vijay, who is the origin of Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakasipu, Ravan Kumbhakana, Shishupal Dantavakra, how would it be that they obtain Sayuja Mukti? What is the answer to this thing? How could they obtain Sayuja Mukti?
What is Sayuja Mukti?
Means merging into the body of the Lord. It's one liberation no devotee wants. Salokya, Sarski, Sarupya, Samipya, as long as there's any service involved, pure devotees will take it. But even devotees who have any pinch of desire, those, Salokya means living on the planet Lord, Sarsti having the opulences like Lord, Sarupya having form like the Lord, Samipya being near Lord, they will take this kind of liberation. But at Tattvam, no devotee, no one wants to have this. Why did Shishupal obtain Sayuja Mukti? I'm telling. Our Acharya is told, the Lord for his own pastimes. You'll find, if you want to know where to look, You look in the commentary of Vedanta Sutra of Baladev Vijayabhushan Prabhu. You understand? Also, you can read in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad. In the commentary on Vedanta Sutra of Srila Baladev Vijayabhushan Prabhu, he mentions that actually the Lord for pastime takes devotees, merges them into the Brahman, bringing them out of Brahman and giving them a Swarup. They have this amazing feeling of the comparison between Brahman and having a Swarup of Seva. You understand? It's like somebody making an amazing feast for you. And then after you've eaten everything, they bring the cheesecake thing. You understand? Say, oh my gosh. Right? Just like I remember I was trying, I don't know, never mind, no stories, we'll get lost here. Okay, quickly. We were traveling and preaching in Africa. And we went to one place which is called Kaduna. So from where we were in Lagos to Kaduna is very, very far. Right? And also the roads in Nigeria, Dandavad's Didi. So in the roads in Nigeria are very, very bad. So all the way there we were seeing accidents. And in Nigeria, when there's an accident, it's not like they just call the ambulance and people come. What happens is that they call the family from the villages sometimes. Families have to come and collect those bodies and take them to the morgue. So sometimes you're talking about 2-3 days, 4 days, a week even, you'll see the scene of the accident still there. Right? So we saw one horrible accident where a bus and a lorry, means a truck, had collided. So from that time that we saw that accident all the way to Kaduna, hours and hours, everybody was just super distressed. Right? We finally got to our preaching destination, His Holiness Brahmananda Prabhu, at his sannyasi that time. We get there and he's doing his usual preaching, everything. And the family that's hosting the event, they begin to offer devotees prasadam. So first they say, well, go to this room. There's one room there. When you go into that room is where we'll sit to take prasadam. The table was lined. Right? I know everybody's fasting, so bear with me. Lined with all kinds of, you'll have one section of rice. Saffron rice. Rice with cardamom and so forth. Tolerate this for Nashrinadadev. Then you have this rice, that rice. Then a row of sabjis. Then, has anybody ever heard of Puran Puri? Puran Puri is like, it's a puri, but inside the puri it's stuffed with dal and sweet. Yeah, so it's a Gujarati program. It's very wonderful. So all kinds of puris, then chapatis, then regular puff puri, right? Then methi parathas. It was incredible. So, and after everybody sat and everybody ate, everybody was really thanking her. And when she got up and she told, listen, everybody relax for a little bit, and then you should go to room B. We went into room B. It was nothing but sweets. Shrikant, kheer, this thing, that thing. And so we were doing all of that and everybody was like intoxicated. Then everybody was really at the point, because we used to do this thing, Brahmananda has taught us this. Whenever you go to any member's house, so that you can appear like a sadhu, right? What you do is when they bring out so many things, they put on the plate, you go, oh no. But what you do is you move your hands back and forth, right? So when you move your hands back, they put on the plate. Oh, no. Please, right? So, anyways, everybody was completely full. And so everybody was saying, okay, no. Oh, Mataji, no more. Yes, we must try one last thing. She bought gulab jamins, which were still hot. Right? You know, have you ever had gulab jamins when they're still
Delicious.
It's like the ultimate transcendental pancake or something, right? I mean, it was incredible. This is what Krishna does to devotees by merging them in the Brahman, then taking them and putting them in Swarup. Now, question comes: wait, Mukunda, what any proof is there that you can be merged in Brahman and then get a Swarup? You read Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Muktas Chayasya Tats Chakti Satchidananda Dehinam Prapitas. This question was asked by Gopkumar to Nard. And Nard told, listen, those who are Jivan Mukt, means they're liberated in these bodies. They may be broken from their Brahmavad by just seeing a Vaishnava. Asambhava Gambhira Chittam. Right? that the Gambhira Bhav of devotees is so wonderful that just seeing them, Sannyasi Thakur and Jaiva Dharma, his Brahmavad was broken. 4 Kumaras, by hearing the Harikatha of Lord Brahma, their Brahmavad was broken. Shukdev Goswami, when he came out of the womb, and he only heard two verses from the woodsman, and also Aho Bakiyam. These 2 verses broke his Brahmavad, and he came back to hear all Srimad Bhagavatam. So if you have a body, then at that time seeing a devotee of Brahmavad can be broken. So here goes Kumar's question, but what of those who already merged in Sayuj, and they have no body? To answer this question, he quotes this verse, by the Shakti of the Lord. Because what is the Brahma Jyoti? Brahmano hi pratishtaham. What is Brahma Jyoti? And what is Krishna? Is he Advaya Gyan Paratattva or not?
Yes.
Therefore there's bliss in his effulgence.
Yes.
The nature of bliss is described in Shishashtakam. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. In Sanskrit language, Vardhanam means always expanding. So tasting the bliss of Brahman is not the same as tasting the bliss of Seva. Seva Ananda. Therefore, anytime anyone desires to advance further, Krishna takes them out of Brahman, places them in a Swarup, where they can render service. Amazing. Written in both Govinda Bhasha and also in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. This thing is there. So, Sishupal, he obtained Sayuja Mukti, but of course later he will be reinstated in his form as Jai and Vijay. Sishupal and Damtavakra. So now, Yudhisthira Maharaj was very amazed, because Yudhisthira Maharaj was thinking, this sounds very strange to me, because now Narada Muni wanted to tell him the backstory. And in telling him the backstory, he told how the 4 Kumaras had gone and cursed Jai and Vijay. What was Yudhisthira Maharaj's reply? Yitrasa Kasya Vasapo. What kind, Sap means a curse. What kind of curse? Hari Dasa Abhimarshina. What kind of curse could even affect those who are Haridasas, who are the eternal servants of Bhagavan? How can they be affected by a curse? Then Yudhisthira Maharaj set an example for all of us the next time anybody tells you you fell from the spiritual world. Right? Ashadaheya eva bhai. I have no faith in this. I don't believe it. Translate here, I don't believe it, but Ashadaheya means I have no faith in this idea. That even the eternal associates of Bhagavan can be cursed. Why? What is the definition of prema? Rupa Goswami is given one definition of prema. That's the definition of bhakti.
If there's a reason for it to be broken, it just becomes...
Savata dongsa rahitam. Yad api dongsa karane. Karane means a cause. Even when there's a cause for love to be broken, yad bhava bandhano yuno. Prema parikirtita. It becomes stronger. So even if there was a cause for their love to be broken, it would just be enhanced. And was the love of Jai and Vijay enhanced by that Leela? Yes. Their love was never broken. In fact, Adi Sridhar Swami, Bhavarta Deepika Tika, the commentary of Adi Sridhar Swami, he says, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad confirms it, Jai and Vijay never really left Vaikuntha. They came only as expansions here. You understand? To accept the role, to please Bhagavan. So, how do we know this?
So then why did they get another Swarup?
No another Swarup.
So then they just went back to their...
They went back and
merged.
their own original forms. Here's the secret that they never left. That when the 4 Kumars cursed them, and then I'll go to the backstory, they became very upset. Oh, we'll have to leave this Vaikuntha. This is only Abhiman in the Leela Shakti's giving. But Bhagavan told, Bhagavan, Anugao Aha. Bhagavan told, in Sanskrit language, there's singular case, dual case, and then plural. So, Au means dual case. So he told these two. Aha means he said, Yatam ma vashitam astusam. Some means be peaceful, be happy. How can we be happy? We can go to the material world, man. What is it to be happy? Right? So he said, listen carefully. Yatam ma vashitam. So in Sanskrit language, another trick here is that the word ma has 2 meanings in relation to the 2 words yatam and vashitam. So Yatam Ma means go, right? But also the word Ma means stop. So the Lord simultaneously said go and also don't go. You understand? It's a trick in the language. So Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, if you read the commentary on this verse, you'll see that whole explanation there. So simultaneously, they remained in Vaikuntha and expansions of them came. But the point is, how did they come at all? The Vaikuntha is such a wonderful place. And in that Vaikuntha, there are 7 gates which lead into the Vaikuntha, and there are 4 gates and different dwarapaliks or gate guards that surround it. 4 of these gates are prominent: north, east, south, and west. On each of the gates, there are 2 pair of gate guards, dwarapaliks they're called. Chanda Prachanda, Bhadra Subhadra. Chanda Prachanda, Bhadra Subhadra. One more, and then on the western gate is Jai and Vijay. You understand? Of all those different gatekeepers, Jai and Vijay are numero uno. They are the most favorite of Bhagavan. Jai and Vijay, all day long, they don't eat, they don't sleep, they don't do anything. They guard the outer gate and by expansion the Antapur, means the inner gate where Lord Narayan sleeps. In these 2 expansions, all they do all day long is talk Harikatha. So in the talking of Harikatha, many wondrous things come up. So they were thinking, listen, this Vaikuntha is very amazing. And our Prabhu, he is so powerful. Yet he's deputed us to guard his gate. But one question may arise, why do we even need a gated community in Vaikuntha? Who can get in here? One question. 2 questions. Even though the Lord is so powerful, I've never seen it on display. Because nobody ever gets anxious here. It's called Vaikuntha. Right? It means no anxiety. Nobody gets stressed out. Nobody has a bad day. Right? So there's no trouble, no anxiety. Exactly. There's no problems there. So no fights ever arise in Vaikuntha. So we never get a chance to see the prowess of our Lord. Having this inner desire, only in their talking Harikatha to one another. Because their hearts are taratmik with their Prabhu, Sri Narayan. Narayan took note of this. One time, in the Antapur, means the inner chamber, Lakshmi Devi, she left to attend to some duty. When she left, Bhagavan also likes to play tricks. So he told the Jai Vijay, listen, I'm going to take rest, don't let anybody in. Anybody means anybody. Jai Prabhu, Jai Prabhu. So, Bhagavan went, only laying down but not closing his eyes. You should know, we always are studying Braj Leela. You understand? How many Leelas are there in Vaikuntha? If you go to South India, you go to like Tirupati temple. I went to Tirupati once. Hours and hours they're doing Harikatha of all Vaikuntha Leelas. So many Leelas in Vaikuntha. Because we have focus on Braj, we don't, not our attention. But so many Leelas in Braj and so many tricks played between Lakshmi and Narayan. Even the whole Tirupati Dham, I'm not telling the story because it will take us off track. Even the whole arrangement of Tirupati came by some Leela between Lakshmi and Narayan. Understand? Anyways, Lakshmi, when she came back to come to the Antapur, Jai and Vijay said, oh, Mata, sorry. Bhagavan is told he's doing sayan now, he's resting, not to let anybody in. Lakshmi Devi thought, are you crazy? He doesn't mean, for me, maybe for 100 people. Mata, he told that nobody should enter. Only we know our Prabhu's word. It is very awkward, it's very difficult, but only we know our Prabhu's word. So Lakshmi Devi, in her mind, she thought, you know what? They become so close to Narayan that they think they have like some status that's beyond what they should have. So maybe they should learn some lesson. So she got ready to think about cursing them. But then it came in her mind, you know, they're so close to the Lord, maybe it's not a good idea. But she thought about it. She never pronounced the curse. Later on, simultaneously, the Chatusana, 4 Kumaras, they were wandering throughout the universe in the bliss of Brahman. While they were wandering throughout the universe in the bliss of Brahman, at the distance they heard one sound. Lakshmi Narayana 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 Lakshmi Narayana Narayana Narayana. And then they saw from the distance one person who was traveling, and that person, he was so immersed in the holy names that actually he was not even accompanied by any other person. He would chant one time, Lakshmi Narayana Narayana Narayana, and his Veena would respond, Lakshmi Narayana Narayana Narayana. Understand? So looking at this person, the four Kumaras were amazed, and they thought, Asambhasha, Bhava Gambhira Chittam. Here is the person so deeply immersed in bhakti, in love for God, that his bliss seems to be millions of times more than our bliss. Our bliss has been derived from different systems. The four Kumaras personify what? Srila Prabhupada written in his purport. Gyan, Yoga, Tapasya, and Vairagya. They are the personifications of these four qualities. Understand? But by these four qualities, can one get the seva of the Lord? Only bhakti accompanied by all these things. Jnanayatsu Vairagyam, Jnanachayon Oitakam. Automatically these qualities follow bhakti. But having these qualities and not having bhakti, one cannot get the attention of Bhagavan. So the four Kumars, when they saw Narada Muni means Naravaram Dadati Narada. In Ramayan, it's explained what his name means. Naravaram, who has the best interests of all mankind at heart. And therefore the Dati, he's always traveling to give bhakti. Understand? This is the meaning of the name Nard. The four Kumaras, seeing Nard, became so blissed out. And what is that? And where has it come from? So they beeline back to their father, Lord Brahma. Hey, listen. You know, in the beginning, we had this long conversation as we were growing up but not growing up, right? That you wanted us to make children. We told you, no, we're not interested in that. We're brahmacharis. We're not into this whole thing. We're not getting into that. In fact, if you notice, we didn't even buy any clothes. We haven't gone shopping. We're not even growing up in bodies. We keep in the same bodies. So, you know, Brahma was upset, and then from his two eyebrows comes the Rudras, etc. But then after that, he does deep contemplation. And from the best of his contemplation, which is bhakti, who manifested from his heart? Nard Muni. So Nard is a personification of bhakti, the highest contemplation of Brahma. So he said, we just saw our brother pass by, and he seemed really blissed out, and we don't seem to be able to get that kind of bliss. What is that about? So then Brahma said, anyways, you're qualified, because you kept all your vows, everything else, you're qualified. Let me speak to you, Hari Katha, about the glories of Lord Narayan. So then Brahma began to tell the four Kumars about the wonders and the glories and the Mahima of Lord Narayan. When the four Kumars heard that, because they were qualified, just like Sannyasi Thakur and Jaiva Dharma, when he saw a Vaishnava, because he was already Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma, fully satisfied, fully qualified, he had no material desires, he immediately gravitated towards the higher level of Sevananda. Similarly, four Kumars hearing this Katha, they immediately gave up their Brahmavad and they went to search for Lord Narayan. When they were searching for Lord Narayan, their inspiration guided them. So this is also an important point, a lesson for us in how bhakti is acquired. Praktana duniki chasti yasyat bhakti vasana. All the previous acquired bhakti sukritis from so many lives, they guide us just like a road. You understand? It is not random who you came to as guru. It is not random what sangha you are in. It is not random what Vaishnavas you associate with. Kamana, Daivana, Trena, Janto, Deopapache, even the material body you get is regulated. Third canto, Bhavatam, Kapila Sambhava. Karma, Daivana, Trena, even your karma and your destiny, what body you'll get, what mind you have, what subtle body you got, what family you're born to, it's all so locked in. It's not accidental or random. How will you think that, I met my guru just happenstance? I was coming down, heard a Haridan party, I saw, hey, what's up, Guru Dev? It's not so random. It is so exacting according to your bhakti samskars. You understand? So the four Kumaras, being inwardly guided by their desire and their previously acquired sukritis from seeing Nard and hearing Hari Kirtan from him and hearing Hari Katha from Brahma, they made a beeline as though even blindfolded and walking. And they came to gate number 1, gate number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They got to the 7th gate. And you know how it is when you're on a journey, you're going to India. So you're very excited when you're packing. You get more excited when you put your luggage in the car. On the way to the airport, whoo boy, right? Then you get on the plane. And then you get there and you hit that heat hits you, the lights and everything in India. But you're so happy, right? Right? And then you get in the cab. And the cab driver wants to stop to get something to drink because he's driven from Braj. And you're like, really? Can you maybe just, okay, go ahead, get something. Right? But you're really anxious. So that feeling is there in the 4 Kumaras. Gate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the 7th gate, they get there. Right? And now you begin to see the effulgence of Vaikuntha. Oh, you see the atmosphere of Vaikuntha. The prabhav of Vaikuntha Vasis is spreading out for Vaikuntha. And it's coming in their hearts. Their hearts are melting. They arrive at the gate. And these 2 very tall gentlemen, very nicely dressed, everything else. And they have weapons and everything. And they're just there talking Hari Katha. Then they look at you. They say, wait a minute. Right? They put their clubs in a cross. Means you can't come in. So now, what is this? We've passed through all 6 gates. There's so many different definitions of these 7 gates in Vaikuntha. If you go to Sri Rangam, the temple is designed around this description in Sastra. Right? Has anybody been to Sri Rangam? Yeah, in Sri Rangam, you go through those 7 Gopurams and everything. Then you get to the Antapur, which is the big place where the deity is, the golden place. So it's designed after Vaikuntha. If you look at it aerially, you'll see it's designed like that. So they went through all 7 gates. Some people say these 7 gates represent Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Mada, Moha, etc. Right? And that one who gets through these 7 gates has to have conquered over all of these things. So the 4 Kumaras easily passed through, Bhagavatam says, those gates. Because they were already at the level of Brahman. But when they arrived at the 7th gate, what were they lacking? They had not fully developed bhakti. And to enter Vaikuntha, you need bhakti. You understand? Austerities, knowledge, tapasya, renunciation will not get you into Vaikuntha. Only bhakti alone is the ingredient that you need to enter Vaikuntha. Of course, the Jai and Vijay, they thought, and listen, not only I don't know who these guys are, and it's not immediately kicking into me, I have not Googled them or anything. So them being here, and besides the fact they're here with no clothes on, is problematic as well, right? So there's a lot of different issues. Plus they look so young. What austerities they did, what bhakti sadhana they did. All these things coming in Jai and Vijay's mind, right? Who's putting these things in the mind of Jai and Vijay? Yog Maya. If you go to any temple in South India, you see 3 Shaktis there. What Shaktis are there? Shri, Bhu and Neela. Neela means Leela Shakti also. So the Leela Shakti put this in the mind of Jai and Vijay. And also in the heart of Kumaras who were way past any kind of Kam, Krodh, means anger, suddenly they became angry. Oh, who are these 2 imposters? Who do they think they are? They become very proud by their position. So we're now pronouncing one curse on them, that they're better suited to be in the material world, not here in Vaikuntha. Because in Vaikuntha, nobody has any anxiety. Why will they become so anxious about those who want to come to serve Narayan? So immediately when they heard the curse, they realized the power of the 4 Kumaras. Jiva Goswami Pad says, then, after this Leela plays out, the Lord came out, he got on the back of Garuda, and he told Lakshmi, you also get on the back of Garuda. And they came on the airplane, Garuda's flapping his wings, and when Garuda flaps his wings, so much stav and stuti enter into the air. Because all the Vaikuntha Vasis, they're also always reciting stav and stuti, means prayers. When they were reciting these prayers, the wings of Garuda amplifies these prayers. So you hear all these beautiful stav and stuti, like Suprabhaktam in South when you go to Tirupati. I got up in the morning just to hear that. And also if you ever hear recitation of Divya Prabandham. Divya Prabandham is 4,000 verses which were written by the Alwars in South India. Very wonderful, very beautiful. Oh, Haribol, Didi. Very long time no see. Haribol. Good to have you back. We won't let you go again. So that time, all the stav and stuti is permeating the atmosphere. Not only that, but the most fragrant of all flowers. Also, there in Vaikuntha, so many beautiful flowers. When Garuda's flapping his wings, those flowers took advantage of that breeze and permeated all throughout the atmosphere. In the meanwhile, Tulsi Devi, who surrounded the feet of Lord Narayan, when Garuda was flapping his wings, that aroma also came in the air and mixed with it. So the 4 Kumaras were now being drenched in the atmosphere of Vaikuntha. The Udipan, stimulus from that, made them have ecstatic symptoms. While they were having ecstatic symptoms, they began to have asru, means tears. As they began to cry, they could not see clearly the approach of Lord Narayan. When Lord Narayan got to a certain distance, Jiva Goswami Pad, Krishna Sundar, I believe, Bhagavad Sundar, Krishna Sundar, that the Lord got down from the back of Garuda. And he told Lakshmi Devi also to get down. And on foot, he went to greet the 4 Kumaras. While he was walking, that aroma which had now permeated the whole air, directly the breeze picked up from the lotus feet of Narayan, that aroma of Tulasi, and directly attacked the nostrils of the 4 Kumaras. So you should also understand this. The meaning of the verse, we were on a phone conference the other night, Yasha Sakalendriya Vittimanti in Brahma Samhita, that any one sense of Krishna can perform the functions of any other sense. But do we see that in any Leela of Krishna, when they want to offer Krishna food, they put it in his ear? And also we accept, if I make an offering to Thakurji, make the offering, Krishna looking at the prasadam is honoring it. But what happened to the son of Saranga Thakur? Saranga Thakur? He left his son? Was it Saranga Thakur? No. Young boy, he was in charge to feed his Thakurji when his father traveled. And when Thakurji would not eat, he told, you eat. And then Thakurji literally ate the food. So Mother Yashoda, she'll accept that Krishna says, Maya, I looked at everything, I'm not hungry anymore. She will never accept. No, you have to eat. You understand? So the meaning of this, Yasha Sakalendriya Vittimanti, Pashanti Panti Kalyanti Chiram Jaganti, meaning is not, from Aishwarya mood, we'll think, yes, Bhagavan can eat with any sense. Bhagavan can interchange senses. The meaning is, one sense is capable of digesting the ananda of all the senses. You understand? You understand this point? One sense of Krishna can digest all Narayan, the ananda of all the other senses. I'm giving an example. When Radhika was at Prem Sarovara, and she was sitting on the lap of Krishna, all of her senses, because this is pranay. Pranay in Ujjwala Namani has a special description. I'm not describing this thing here. But pranay is a special kind of sambhog. While she was sitting on the lap of Krishna, tactile sense was involved. The Surabha Gandha, means the body fragrance of Krishna, was coming in her sense of smell. Looking at Krishna, her eyes were overwhelmed. Right? And just being in the atmosphere of Krishna, she was also overwhelmed. But then suddenly, Krishna wanted to show something. So he appeared as one bumblebee. When that bumblebee came, he started around the lotus feet of Radhika. Being unsatisfied, he moved up, and then he finally came to the face of Radhika, trying to taste the sweetness of her face, because he's never seen any flower anywhere like this. This is Krishna's Sanket to prove to Radhika she is so beautiful that no other gopi is comparable. This is the Vranjan Vritti in this Leela. Vranjan Vritti means, like there's different kinds of meanings. One is called Abhida Vritti. It means the direct meaning that's given in a dictionary. Then there is a Lakshan Vritti. It means a meaning that's given by indication. You understand? Then, like, I won't go into it because we'll be here all night. And then if Vranjan Vritti means an implied meaning that's kind of done poetically to indicate something. So, in order to show in the Leela how Krishna feels about Radhika, he takes this form of the bee, and this bee comes around Radhika. Now, Madhusudan, he's Priyanarma Sokha. So he can be there while Krishna's in the association of Radhika to a certain degree. Because it is explained, Ajantika Rahasya Gyan. Ujjwala Mani explains. The Priyanama Sakas, Ajantika Rahasya Gyan. They have Anumodita. Anumodita means, Modan means happiness. Anumodita means a happiness that follows the person whom I love the most. So because the cowherd boys, Priyanama Sakas, love Krishna so much, their happiness follows hers, his. In the same way, the Manjari's happiness follows Radhika's. You understand this point? That's why the cowherd boys never seek out any gopi. Normally under conditions, any cowherd boys and girls are there. Krishna should have his girls, and I'm also a boy, I should have my girls. But what happens to the Priyanama Sakas at that time? What happens to them?
They fall under the
Madhura Bhava Bhavita, Sakhi Bhav predominates their hearts. They don't become Sakhis. There was a big confusion about this some years ago. I'm not getting into controversies here. Right? Madhura Bhava Bhavita means their hearts become overwhelmed by Sakhi Bhav. It means they have a mood of, I want Krishna to be happy, enjoying. So they have no interest in any male mood at that time. This is called Anumodita. Their happiness is derived from Krishna's happiness. Like Manjaris, right? What's this verse? Sanchari Sat Shamunava Krishna Rati Suridrati Pushamanata Rikascha Babu Lasati. So the Manjaris, they derive their happiness from Radhika's happiness. They have no independent desire to associate with Krishna. Understand? So any one sense can be dominated by one thing. So what happened is when Madhusudan told, not Madhusudan, when who? Madhumangal told, oh, that Madhusudan has gone and he will not return. When that entered the ears of Radhika, her one sense of hearing conquered all the other senses and took her to a place of separation. You understand this? She was sitting on Krishna's lap, looking at Krishna's face, smelling Krishna's body. Still, this one sense took over all the other senses and she entered the prakosh of separation. In order to understand this, you need to understand Radhika's love is unique. It is called Maranakya Mahabhav. Ujjwala Mani stating, Yoga Esha Bhaverecha Vichitti Madana Vichitta Kopi Madanaha Vrajvilasa Virajante Nitya Lila Sahasrada. This is the description in Ujjwala Mani of Maranakya Mahabhav. What is the meaning? Nitya Lila Sahasrada. Radhika's love is so high class, she can be in every prakosh with Krishna simultaneously. You understand? Nobody else can do this. So what happened that day was when Madhu Mangal said Madhusudan is gone and will not return, her ear conquered all her other senses and put her in a prakosh where she was actually separated from Krishna.
Please define prakosh.
Prakosh means an alternate chamber. Krishna's leelas are going on in so many prakosh all at one time. Not only one prakosh. For instance, when Krishna went with Nanda Baba and the elderly Brajavasi men to Mathura, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad says, in one prakosh, Krishna stayed in Mathura. In another prakosh, he returned to Braj. When Narada Muni went to Dwarka, he went to all 16,108 palaces. In one palace, Krishna was just getting up in the morning. In another one, he was chanting his evening Gayatri. In another one, he was playing with the kids. In another one, he was taking lunch. Narada Muni's seen everything. That would not be very amazing to him. He's seen it all. You understand? What did amaze him? It wasn't that Krishna had expanded and was in each of these palaces. The same Krishna was in different prakosh, different chambers of leelas in 16,108 places. So Narada Muni, every time he entered a new prakosh, he was in a different leela. You understand? He didn't just go to, okay, oh, that's very cool. I'm going next door to the palace next door. Go to the, oh, wow, this is far out. Go to the next palace. When he would leave one palace, he wasn't leaving that palace. He was leaving that leela. He'd enter another leela on another day, Krishna doing something completely different. This is what blew Narada Muni's mind. This is called prakoshtattva.
So wait, are you saying that even within one palace there were multiple prakoshes?
No, one palace, one prakosh.
Okay.
But still, it was almost like a whole different dimension from palace to palace.
Palace to palace. This is what amazed Nardmuni.
Did you say that Krishna was with each gopi in each palace of the?
No gopis. With each queen,
Yes,
in each queen, he's in that palace performing different leelas. But they weren't like Krishna expanded himself and Narada just went from one palace to another sword. Actually, they were completely different leelas. He was going from one prakosh to another. You have to understand what this prakosh thing is deep. So understand it from this point of view. Radhika was sitting on Krishna's lap, right? But she entered a prakosh in which she was separate from Krishna. And she began to display all of the moods of separation. Krishna had never ever witnessed something like this. What is this called technically? Prem Vaichitya. This is called Prem Vaichitya. This is a very unique thing. That even when Radhika is in Krishna's presence, she can be overcome by a particular sense. And that sense will drive her into a place she's actually in a separate prakosh where Krishna and her are actually separated. That's how deep Madanaki Mahabhav is. So next time your girlfriend or boyfriend tells you I love you, just, man, please. Okay? Alright, being serious here. Alright, so now, back to the original story. Right? So, when the four Kumaras experienced the aroma of the tulsi that came from the lotus feet of the Lord, it entered their nostrils and completely took over everything. So all their senses were arrested. So they could not understand. When Krishna came, when Narayan came, he tried to explain to them, listen, these gatekeepers are my responsibility. Because you are Brahmins and they've offended you, I'm taking that responsibility. Even I would cut off my own arm for Brahmins. So Krishna's going through this long dialogue apologizing to the four Kumaras. If you read Bhagavatam, it says they were confused by his words. Why were they confused?
I mean, given the way Sanskrit works, there was double meanings. Part of it was making it sound like, oh, my servants really made an offense to you, I'm so sorry. But part of it was also like, I would cut off my arm means they're like my own limb, they're so dear to me.
Exactly. So that was one thing, but that's not what they were confused about. Four Kumaras at this point were tasting the ecstasy of the association of Narayan, and they were in like trance. They couldn't really understand what the Lord was saying. You understand? They were in ecstasy. Right? Jai and Vijay could understand. They couldn't understand. So through this these double meanings, he was glorifying Jai and Vijay. Understand?
Is it because they're in a different mood? They're in Shantaras?
Now their Santaras broken. Four Kumaras, you should also understand, the four Kumaras, you have to see them in a continuum. From Brahmavad to this Vaikuntha mood, all the way to the writing of Sanat Kumar Samhita, which is where our Gayatri mantras and everything are coming from. And Radhadasyam. Four Kumaras, so many different levels of four Kumaras. So now, they're in trance, they can't understand. The Jai and Vijay, I've already explained, the Lord told them, go and don't go. Then he told them, Mayi Samramba, Mayi Samritya Samrama, and Samrama Samritya Samadhi Anubhada Yog. Even though you go to the material world, you will be there absorbed in Bhakti Yoga through your anger. So the anger of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakasipu, what was it?
They wanted service, to Krishna.
Their service was never broken. What was their anger?
It was their bow for the Lord. Their bow for the Lord.
Envious.
No. It was bhakti. The Lord said, Samrama Sambritya. Your intensified anger will be samadhi in yoga. So read Srila Prabhupada's purport to these verses. I think it's third canto, chapter 16. You read in there. All this is explained. Right? That their so-called enmity towards the Lord was the speciality of a bhakti yoga. But it's not recommended for sadhakas. So we can't say, oh, that's pretty cool, I want to try that one. So Rupa Goswami did not include it in his definitions of bhakti. What is ati vyapti dosh, he didn't include it. Because it's not something we can do anugatya to. It is special. You understand? Their actual anger was bhakti yoga. So what is the proof of this, huh?
So they weren't actually demons in that Leela? Or were they?
Nope. They accepted the Abhiman of demons in order for the Lord to taste via us. It's quoted in Sandarbhas. What's this verse? Jaivi Jari Sonakari Sap Vyajema. Via Rasa Vinodaya. Right? That the Jai Jai on the pretense. Vyajema means a pretense. Sap accepted the curse of Jai and Vijay of the four Kumaras in order to give Vira Ras to the Lord. So the Lord is satisfying their desire they had originally to see him fight. The Lord is fulfilling that desire now.
But how is it possible for them to have that kind of like, instill that kind of like fear and like, go through the whole process of being a demon? Like how are they able to?
Because their love for Bhagavan is unconditional. Because our love is conditional, it's very difficult for us to digest. We can't digest any inconvenience. If you tell people you've been in the material world since time without beginning, oh, well, why me? Why did I come here? Why did some people go there and I came here? And if somebody tells you, maybe Bhagavan just wanted it that way. Well, why did he want it that way? Perhaps he has some issues. Maybe, Jiva's lives matter. We need a whole council. Understand? So we don't have any conception of not having self-interest. But Jai and Vijay have no self-interest. Therefore, their love for Bhagavan, they will do whatever is required for the pleasure of Bhagavan.
Even being a demon.
Even being a demon. But here's the amazing thing. When the Lord told them that, he said, listen, previously, when you blocked Lakshmi Devi from coming into the Antapur, at that time, she also wanted to give you a curse. So now, to fulfill her desire, because you have to please the wife, said, remember, dear, right? So, on her behalf, because she was reluctant to curse you, I will offer that you can go to the material world 7 times as devotees, or the 4 Kumaras curse you can accept and go 3 times as demons. So Al Srila Prabhupada, to help us, said they wanted to get back quickly. But really they have no material desires. They have no self-interest. You understand? So whatever the Lord wants. And actually 7 births as devotees, what would that mean? Narayana Parayana Save Nakutastina Bibhyati Swarga Pavagana Rakeshu Apitu Latradashina. For Swarga, heaven, anything is the same for devotees. Because they're always absorbed in the Ishtadev.
Isn't the example also in Ramayana when what's her name, the queen, the whole reason why she cursed Ram to go to the course and not do the whole
Kaikeyi?
Yeah, but that was her service. She was the only one that could do it. The real inner meaning was that was actually her the biggest service that could have ever been done. Like,
so many things to that Leela.
yeah,
So many things to that Leela. Kaikeyi mantra, how she came up, Ram asking her for promise.
Actually banning Ram to the forest for 16 years, that was a service, actually.
Yeah, Ram asked her to do that when he was a small boy.
Right.
And she was stuck in that problem. There's so many things to that Leela as well. So now, the Jai and Vijay, they accepted to take these 3 births. Right? So when they take these 3 births, the first one has Hiranyaksha. Jai Shishirada Govinda. Okay, I had to try to speed things up because I know it's getting time for Abhishek here.
Abhishek's your take.
Okay, I'll speed up. Okay, so now, Jai and Vijay, they descend to the material world, and their desire is to give pleasure to Bhagavan. So first, they appear Hiranyaksha. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakasipu, they're called Adidaitya. So for a long time, I was looking, Adidaitya. Adidaitya means original. How could they be the original demons when there were demons before them? Like Manisura, other demons. How could they be the originals? So here the meaning of Adidaitya is they are the original Abhiman and mentality of demoniac life. The desire for wealth, prestige, and imitating the position of God is the original demoniac quality. Hiranyaksha means who, everywhere, Aksha means eyes. So whose total absorption is it? Hiranya means gold, or power, or wealth.
Soft bed.
That's Hiranyakasipu. So it means all powers related to having gold and imitating the position of Bhagavan. That's why there's so many Hiranyakshas and Hiranyakasipus now. Because nowadays, wealth and influence, if you read the 12th canto of Bhagavatam, 2nd chapter, it explains, in the Kali Yuga, people when they have wealth and influence, they think that's enough for them to be in charge of everybody else. I don't want to be on this recording saying anything, so I won't mention any name. But why do we give credence to somebody's opinion because they have expertise in playing with various shaped balls, basketballs, footballs? So they can come on and speak to people, and everybody will go, oh, really? What is their qualification to speak on stuff?
Name and fame.
Outside of that, if you said, oh, well, this person was very learned, or they studied this or that, but that you have wealth, first of all, why would you pay somebody millions of dollars to play with a ball? This is serious. Just think about this.
No, but it's the fact that they're the best.
That's also debatable.
If you're the
Right?
best.
That's also debatable. But the point being, no matter who's the best, to pay somebody in the millions and offer them wealth and influence over other people, that's why advertisers go to them. If you want to advertise something, put his face on there. He has expertise in playing with a ball. And I should buy this car because he said it's the best car. This is incredible psychology. It is really incredible. You understand? So, Hiranyaksha means this mentality in which the idea of the Abhiman of imitating God by having some reflection of the opulences of God. God has 6 opulences: wealth, fame, knowledge, beauty, strength, renunciation. If you look at these people, they have some reflection of that and they're imitating that position.
Please define Abhiman.
Abhiman means a self-conception. I think I'm like this. You understand? So people with wealth and influence think I'm important. Therefore, I should make decisions about what should happen in Waita's life. I should tell you what car to buy. I should tell you what you should do with your life. Because I play with a ball and they pay me millions of dollars for that. Understand? Just anyways. So Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakasipu means, as he mentioned, soft bed, which indicates sex life. Money and sex life are the 2 chief relatable qualities of material enjoyment. You understand? So when Hiranyaksha appeared, the Lord appeared as Varahadev. Varahadev's body is the personification of Yajna. You read Jiva Goswami's definition. His body represents Yajna. So the tendency to try to imitate God or try to act like God is killed by sacrificing your false egoism to become a servant of God. Therefore, Varaha appears as Yajna personified. And he kills. How does he kill Hiranyaksha? What does he do?
Takes the form of
Yeah, he does some kung fu.
Yeah.
Where did he hit him?
Below the ear, right?
Below the ear. What is the meaning here? Where do you receive your mantras?
To the right ear, right?
Ha! So he killed false egoism, then his tusks are like the shrook and shrew that you use in a yajna. He took a shrook and shrew, dug them into the body of Hiranyaksha, and offered him in the sacrifice of giving up false ego and everything. But the point was, the fight wasn't that great. Right? Because Hiranyaksha, he had great talk. He was, promotion-wise, was excellent. But the actual fight itself wasn't that great. Right? Because, after saying all of that, Varaha said, pow. So the Lord, not being fully satisfied with Viras, he decided, I really want a challenge. So now it increased the anger of his brother. You killed my brother. I will get revenge. And immediately Hiranyakasipu, he went to perform austerities. But all of the demonic priests had by Shukra, hey, come back here. Don't go right now. First of all, astrologically, this is not a good time. Secondly, because you're so angry, you cannot do your meditations properly. Hiranyakasipu didn't want to hear it. I will go now. I will not wait another second. So he went to the forest, he sat down under a tree, and he began meditating to get Lord Brahma to appear so he could get these boons. So then he had one mantra to serve Lord Brahma. Hey, Brahmaji Namaha, right? So, anyways, but some mysterious thing happened. Because he was disobedient to the order of his guru, things never work out for you. So there was one parrot that was in the tree. And the first time that he uttered the mantra, the parrot didn't hear it correctly. This is in Puranas. So he said, Om Brahma, Om Brahmaya Namaha. And the parrot thought he said, Om Narayanaya Namaha. So every time he would say, Om Brahmanaya. Then the parrot would repeat Om Narayana Namaha. And Hiranyakashipu's meditation would be broken. He'd look, he didn't see anything, try again. Om Brahmanaya Namaha. Om Narayana Namaha. So he became so frustrated, he just gave up and he went back home. So at that time, Kayadu, she said, oh my Lord, listen, many people have children here in our kingdom, but I have yet to have a child. I have other sons. No, actually she had, right? She had 5 other sons at that time. I have yet to have another child. I really want another child. So Hiranyakashipu, he was such in a daze because he was so bewildered by what had happened. He said, okay. So as they went to consummate everything to make a child, all Hiranyakashipu could hear in his mind was, Om Narayana Namaha. Right? And so it's like, what's going on with this? Right? You look here and there. What's going on? Nothing. Om Narayana Namaha. So because his consciousness was absorbed like that, it gave facility, even in the demoniac clan, for a devotee to appear, who was Prahlad Maharaj. Understand? So Prahlad Maharaj then appeared in the womb of Kayadu. After some time, Hiranyakashipu went, and after consoling the wives of Hiranyaksha, speaking all Atma Tattva, being in a more calm frame of mind, he then went to Mandarachala to perform his austerities. At that time, his austerities were successful. When Brahma came down, he took water from his kamandalu, sprinkled onto Hiranyakashipu. That time, his body became very strong, very beautiful. All of the different boons that he asked for were granted. Not to be killed in the day and the night, in the air and the sky, inside or outside, by any man, by any beast, by anything created by Brahma. You understand? That time he went back to the palace, but now he was happy life. Listen, I'm immortal. Yeah, I'm immortal now. It's time to party, right? So he began to enjoy himself, everything, what have you. And then the birth of his son came, because after Kayadu came back, because also, I'm trying to speed ahead, but of course, in the womb of Kayadu, Narada Muni spoke Harikatha. And though Kayadu fell asleep somewhat, Prahlad Maharaj was hearing this Harikatha in the womb. So what does this prove? That Harikatha is not a matter of ordinary sound vibration. It penetrated all the material coverings and entered into the heart of Prahlad Maharaj and purified the heart of Kayadu. So when Hiranyakashipu came back, he watched his son being raised. And he put his son in the Gurukul of the local Yale University of demoniac world. Right? And because he could afford it, and he wasn't worried about whether his student loans would be paid or not, because he could pay out front. You understand? He sent him to the school of Sandanamarka. Sandanamarka, Gurudev says, means bull and darkness. So this is the genesis of his curriculum. Stubbornness, ignorance, and darkness. So while there, he was learning all these subject matters. And Prahlad was always very quiet. Why was he so quiet?
Meditating.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was also very quiet when I was in school, because I was thinking about basketball, everything else. Right? So the teacher probably thought I was very saintly also. Right? Because I was taking basketball practice right after class. Right? So anyways, Prahlad Maharaj, though, was much more elevated. He was always absorbed in thinking of Bhagavan. Even from the time he was a small child. Prahlad, after hearing the Harikatha of Narada Muni, he was always absorbed. Krishna used to appear to him and give him darshan. And when Krishna would disappear, Prahlad Maharaj would go into extreme moods of separation. In those extreme moods of separation, Krishna used to sometime come back and he would actually embrace Prahlad. Oh, wow. So Prahlad Maharaj, he was so fixed. So everything, every moment, his heart was absorbed only in thinking of his Ishtadev, Shri Krishna.
Was it, which form of Krishna?
Govinda.
Govinda.
Akantaki Hari Bhakti Govinda.
Wasn't he in the womb though for like 50,000?
So many years, but when he came out when his father came back.
All those years.
So, Prahlad was always absorbed in only thinking about the Harikatha of Nard, and through that Harikatha, Shruta Ikshita, he was seeing the form of Bhagavan and tasting the beauty of association and separation. Now, one day, Hiranyakashipu was very happy. Here, bring my son. I want to see what he's learning. Sandanamarka thought, oh, will be remunerated very nicely. So they grabbed Prahlad. He certainly learned so many lessons. He was always very quiet in class. He wasn't disturbing like the other boys, other demon boys always playing and this and that. He bought him before. And Hiranyakashipu picked Prahlad up and put on his lap. Said, oh, my dear child, tell me what it is you've learned. So Prahlad Maharaj told him, Tat sadumanye suryabhari dehinam. Oh, best of the demons. But that wasn't actually an insult. Because this is their clan. Asuras, so no harm. Right? Didn't say anything bad. Sat samuna vigna diyam satrahat. Well, that's pretty interesting. So he told them, some people are always absorbed only in thinking about temporary things. I wonder who he's talking to. Hitvam patam graham andakupam. And in this way they become immersed in a dark well of grihasta life. Or grihamedi life, not grihasta life. Grihamedi life. So now, I guess he's looking at it pretty strangely. What? I never heard this curriculum before. Right? Oh, vanam gato ya darim hari ashrekta. Oh, Father, therefore, you should immediately give up this dark well of material existence and you should go to the forest and worship Hari. What? Immediately Hiranyakasipu's mind got triggered. Is that the proper contemporary?
Yes.
He was triggered. Right? He couldn't find a safe space. But he was triggered. So he's like, what is this? Right? So, but then he thought, this is my child. And he's not at fault. At 5 years old, maybe some Vaishnav snuck in somewhere. Our campus is pretty large here. You have to be careful. Listen, come here, Sandamaka, be careful. I know that these Vaishnavas are very tricky. I know one Vaishnav, he's always flying around with the guitar and all that stuff. But anyway, they may have snuck in here somehow or another. And he may have somehow or another influenced my child. So you be very careful. So they took Prabhupada, but listen, where did you get this stuff from? We don't teach this in the curriculum. They're examining the curriculum. Well, we don't teach this kind of stuff here. So then they re-indoctrinated Prahlad even stronger. Prahlad always keeping a smile on his face. Prahlad always absorbed antradasya, means internally. Right? Because Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami, Antranishtakara Bayalokya Yavyahar. Means internally be deeply absorbed in your bhajan. Externally to the world, act normal. Right? Like when I used to work. Everybody knows I was a police officer before. So I would get up in the morning, do Mangal Arati, everything. Alright? And do my puja, everything, because I had Chalagam Shilas, everything. Chant rounds, then go to work and go into roll call. Hey, did you see the game last night? Man, this was an amazing thing. The TV's on, right? And last night, then they start reading the thing. There were 3 murders last night on the south side, 2 robberies on this side. So I would just sit there. I used to carry a clicker to work, right? But then after a while, they knew I was devotee. I would just come with my bead bag. I would just sit there and chant while they were saying that. It's like that. It just got to a point. It was like, this is too much. But this is the influence of Gurudev. After a while, my grouping that I work with, my partner and others, when we would leave to go out for investigations, say, hey, did you finish your prayers yet? I say, no. Say, oh, let's drive to the park. You finish your prayers first. This would be a heavy thing. And I'll drive to the park. Finish. Of course, when I'm finishing my prayers, they pull out their phones, everything, and they're Googling it. You understand? So it's like a break for them, too. And I'm not putting this on recording because I am retired. Thank you. You understand? And then they would say, oh, we have to go to Whole Foods, because anybody new would come on our team, say we eat at Whole Foods because he's vegetarian, he can't eat anywhere else. And really, I mean, and to this day, all of us are still friends. They'll call for advice. Hey man, what's the Hare Krishna thing on this? So after Prahlad could not be indoctrinated anymore, right? Sandra and Marcus said, we don't know what to do with him. But anyway, let's take him back to his father. So his father got him, put him back on his lap, said, oh my son, I know it was a rough patch last time, but please tell me what it is you've learned. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smarak Vala Sevanam Archanam Manam Dasya Sakya Matma Nivedanam Iti Pumsa Prita Vishnu Bhaktas Chinnava Lakshana Krite Bhagavati Adha Tanmanye Idam Uttamam. What have I learned? The best thing, Father, is Shravan Kirtan Vishnu Smaranam. So now his father's more triggered. He says, where did you learn this from? What is going on with you? You didn't have any childhood trauma or anything? Well, maybe because I left and your mom was kidnapped. So maybe, right? But overall, listen, you've had a great upbringing. You live in a good house, respectable home. You're going to one of the best universities in the kingdom, right? What is wrong with you? So then he told him, oh, listen, Father, Matena Krishna Parataksvatova. Mito Vipajeta Griha Varattanam. Annagobe Vishitam Tamishram Puna Punasa Chavita Chavananam. Father, you can't understand. Because you yourself, life after life, you've been chewing the same thing over and over again. So, I really can't help you. You certainly swatold now. You can't help yourself either. Right? So, Andagobe Vishitam Tamishram. You are deep down in the well, and it's going to be very difficult for you. Well, what are you talking about? Who are you? You're 5 years old, you're insulting me, I'm your father. You know the whole thing. If anybody who's been a teenager at home, you know the whole thing, but he wasn't quite a teenager.
Just his father, and he's Hiranyakashipu.
It's Hiranyakashipu. As far as my father was concerned, he didn't care. If I'd have told him, well, Dad, you're not like Hiranyakashipu, I probably got hit harder. Yeah, my father wouldn't have played that, right? Then he told him, listen, Natavi do so artikati mi Vishnu. Father, don't get angry. Listen, you don't know what's best for you. This is the 5-year-old son telling the father. You don't really know what's best for you. The Rasha Yebahi Artamonina, all of your value, you're getting from the external world. You have no idea of the spiritual world, of Bhagavan, etc., etc. Andayata Arnaya, Upaniyamonas. And by the way, Shukracharya and the whole line of you guys over there, you are all blind, and Dad, you're following them, so you're the blind leading the blind. So now everybody's getting upset, everybody's getting uptight. And therefore, Father, you've been bound up by the 3 modes of material nature. This time, Hiranyakashipu has lost it. He pushes his son off of his lap, and he says, who are you? You're not my family member. And if you were my family member, you've taken the side of my enemy. And because you've taken the side of my enemy, you are no longer part of me. Right? So if necessary, just like if an arm becomes diseased, you cut it off. In the same way, having become diseased, then now I have to cut you off. So then he got ready to strike Prahlad. But actually everybody stopped him. Listen, you're the king. You can't do this. This behavior is not good. Plus the news will get around. You know, the Post and the Times, everybody will start writing stuff about you by tomorrow. So don't do this. He said, what should I do? He said, listen. Just keep things as normal. Tonight at dinner, I'll speak to the cooks. And what we'll do is we'll put poison in the food. This way, everybody will think he got sick and died of natural causes. No infamy will come to you. So that night they made the plan. So the cooks, they said, what kind of poison? Let's use the most lethal poison to make sure this goes on. So they put the most lethal poison in his food. Prahlad Maharaj came. He didn't go through the whole thing, but he offered his food, took his bites, everything, got to the end, belched. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So everybody's sitting at the table and they're like, what is it? Is it latent effect? I mean, how does this poison work? So the cooks don't know, no. This is the most virulent poison that we have. He should have died only by smelling this poison. What to speak? So that time Hiranyakashipu became furious. So he said, this is not working. Guards, attack him. So all the guards took all their different weapons, everything, what have you, because they didn't have Second Amendment, so they had tridents, everything. So they all came, and they were stabbing him and everything else, like that, and then it wasn't working. So he became so frustrated. So then Sandamarka chimed in, listen, calm down. Give us another chance. Let us take him back, and let us try again to really indoctrinate him properly. So Hiranyakashipu, his head was in his hand, take him. So long story short, they took him back and they gave one more try to indoctrinate him. But Sandamarka also had an emergency come up and they had to leave. So they left Prahlad in charge of all the schoolmates because they thought if we'll give him some position, he'll join our group. Because what do you do if you want somebody to get on your side? Give him a position. Right? Not mentioning any things, right? So they gave him a position. When they gave him a position, what did Prahlad do? He told his schoolmates, listen, this is not a time for playing. You should take life seriously. The human birth is very rare. Kuma acharet dhamma bhagavat. What is this verse? Kuma acharet bhagyo dhamma bhagavatam iha. Even though the human life is api dhruvam artadam, it's temporary. It can give the greatest value. So even from right now, you should begin to take up the process of spiritual life. Long story short, Prahlad Maharaj convinced his schoolmates to take up spiritual life. And where'd you learn all this stuff, Prahlad? I learned from my Guru Dev. Who's your Guru Dev? You only have Guru Sandamarka? I said, no, I learned from Mahabhagavat, Nad Rishi. Then they all began to do kirtan. When Sandanamaka came back, for them it appeared as though a riot was taking place, protest was taking place. Because now all the kids, no, we're not going to have it. Not only your father will become angry, but all the demon fathers here will become angry. Will be chastised so heavily. So they took him back to Hiranyakasipu, says nothing we can do with him. So Hiranyakasipu said, what is wrong with you? Why are you doing this? Prahlad answered him, Nai sammati stavad uru krama angrim spashati anato bhagamo yararta mahisham pado rajabhishekam iskinchinanam na anita yadvat. Oh Father, listen. The only way that you'll be able to be helped is if you also get the mercy of a pure devotee like Nard. Other than that, there's no hope for you. At this, Hiranyakasipu became furious. That time he told him, listen, take this boy outside the kingdom and throw him off of a cliff. So the guards immediately seized Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad was chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So they got to a cliff, they looked over, and one of the guards pulled his head back. Whoa, yeah, this will do. Right? So then they picked him up, and they did the 1, 2, 3. So they threw Prahlad, and he went up in the air. And as he was coming down, he was chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And then they looked over, and it was so far down they could not see. So then they thought, okay, they would go back and give the news to Hiranyakasipu. So they went back, oh, Hiranyakasipu, this is done. It was such a tragic thing, but under your order, we've completed the mission. Hiranyakasipu got ready to go in his gold chest to reward these guards. And as he was getting ready to pull the gold out, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Oh, Dhanavad Peter. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He went out of his mind. Hiranyakasipu was so angry he didn't know what to do. His sister Holika said, oh brother, listen, calm down. This is unbecoming of you to become so upset by the energy of this little boy. Let me handle this. You know I've been given a boon, that my cloak is filled with magic power. What I want you to do is build a fire. And on that fire, just put the wood and everything there. I'll sit on it. They decorated it as though it was like a seat. Right? Because Prahlad Maharaj is not stupid. Right? So she sat on it, looked like some unique furniture. Holika sitting there said, oh, Prahlad, I've not seen you for a long time. Come and sit on the lap of your aunt. Prahlad Maharaj, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. He went and sat on the lap of Holika. Holika at that time, she said, now! All the guards, they threw the fire onto it, and it was already filled with flammable liquid. Immediately it erupted in fire, and Holika took a cloth and covered herself, and was holding Prahlad in the fire. And she could hear him chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And as she waited, Hare Krishna, round number 2. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. And she was praying that he wasn't in Gurudev's song and chants a lap. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. And Holika, she started getting hot. She was like, wait a minute, this cloak is not working. So she was looking at the various AC controls in the cloak. In other words, she was getting hotter and hotter, and Prahlad was still chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And then eventually the cloak started to burn. And then Holika herself started to burn. And then she started to scream. So as she started screaming and Prahlad was chanting, it sounded almost like a crazy kind of kirtan. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, right? So Hiranyakasipu was so confused because he could hear screaming, then he heard Hare Krishna, then he heard screaming. So he didn't know if it was Prahlad, he didn't know what was going on. Eventually when all the fire died out and everything, all that there was ashes. But he saw Prahlad sitting on top of the ashes. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Prahlad opened his eyes. Dandavat Pitaji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Oh, at this point, Hiranyakasipu was beyond himself. But this was exactly what was needed. Because remember, Samrama, Sambritya, Samadhi, Anubhari Yog. Narayan told to Jai and Vijay, when you go, you should become absorbed in Samadhi of anger. So Prahlad, actually by his activities, was increasing the bhakti of Hiranyakasipu, who was actually Jai. You understand this? So now, when he was completely furious, he asked Prahlad, listen, where are you getting your power from? And he told him, oh father, I'm getting my power from the same place you're getting your power. Where is that? He said, oh, I'm getting my power from Bhagavan. Everybody gets their powers from Bhagavan. So he said, well, where is your Bhagavan? Where is he now? Prahlad said, oh father, he's everywhere. Everywhere? Is he in this pillar? Prahlad looked at the pillar. Said, yes, father, he's there. He's in the pillar. Did Prahlad Maharaj see Hiranyakasipu in the pillar?
Yes.
No.
Oh, Prahlad Maharaj?
Yeah, he did not
Oh.
see. He had he had darshan that seeing Antaryami is everywhere. So he saw that everywhere Bhagavan is there. You understand? So then Hiranyakasipu took up his sword and he took the handle of the sword and struck the pillar. Boom! You okay? He's not coming to get you. When he struck the pillar, immediately a form appeared there. That form was the form of Narasimha Dev. Immediately he came, he was so ferocious. He had hands everywhere. His mane was touching the sky. He was not man, he was not animal. He couldn't figure out what was going on. So Hiranyakasipu became so bewildered, he lost the energy to fight. So it describes for a while, he was just trying, what's going on here? Right? And then his energy became renewed. This is Vishnu. I will kill him. So then the fight starts. And now the fight is really good. So now Lord Narayan is enjoying himself. Because Hiranyakasipu was fighting, then he'd run over here, run over there, then he'd grab his sword, then he'd throw a couple left jabs, right jabs, then he'd come back, and right? So it was really incredible. It's the best kung fu movie ever, right? So in this way, they were fighting like anything. The demigods got a little nervous. They think, oh, wait a minute, it's getting dark. And you know the demons get extra power when it gets dark. So, hey, it's a great show, everything, we love the fight, it's the best UFC ever, but please, can you put this to an end, right? So, Krishna, understanding the desire of the devatas, he grabbed Hiranyakasipu, and he placed Hiranyakasipu on his lap. He took his nails and dug them inside of Hiranyakasipu and bifurcated him. So now the question comes, was all of the promises of the boons that Brahma gave Hiranyakasipu, were they all kept?
Yes.
Every single one of them. Now the question comes, wait a minute. First of all, when you came, Prahlad Maharaj had been in distress way before this. What took you so long to get here? Now, you know, if you call the police right now, the response time is going to be, but not for Bhagavan. Bhagavan's in everyone's heart. So immediately when you call Krishna and you're pure devotee, he appears. So what took Narasimha so long to come when Prahlad was in distress all the other times?
Well, Prahlad didn't directly call him to come. Prahlad just said, yes, he's in the pillar, and so in order to uphold the word of his pure devotee.
Even before that, Prahlad had been poisoned, thrown from a cliff, stabbed with all kinds of swords, trimmed to be burned Maholika. Why didn't Narasimha show up?
The glories of Prahlad, the glories of to fulfill Hiranyakashipu's desires also.
Getting close. Answer is, Prahlad already had Harinam. Abhinatvam Namanam Yo. Because Prahlad had full faith in Harinam, he was already being protected by Harinam. So whom did Narasimha really appear for then? Hiranyakasipu. Because he's Jai. So he appeared when the peak of his anger came. That means his absorption was the deepest at that point. And it was at that point that Narasimha appeared to him in the most wonderful form. So Prahlad Maharaj called this form Ati Adbhuta, Adrishya Ati Adbhuta. Means a form I've never seen, which proves that Prahlad had previously not seen the form of Narasimha. Adrishya Ati Adbhuta. He saw a form that was Ati Adbhuta, means excessively wonderful, that he had never seen before. And when Hiranyakasipu was on the lap of Narasimha, right, he kept every single promise of Brahma. So he glorified Brahma, my devotee, I won't break any of the promises he gave you. But he also, Naka Ankur Upatita Ritsaroruham. When he dug his nails into Hiranyakasipu, he pulled his heart out and he held it up. Upatita Rit Saroruham means his heart was held up, and he said his heart was like a lotus. Then he took his entrails and garlanded himself. What kind of behavior is that? We don't even want to associate with demons. But you're putting on a garland? Be mindful also. Whenever Indra used to perform big sacrifices, he would invite Bhagavan to come. Swagatam. And then Bhagavan would come down, Idam Asanam. And Bhagavan would say, never mind. Right? Why? Because the Lord preferred to sit on the back of Garuda than to sit on the throne of Indra. But now that Hiranyakasipu sat on that throne, he considered this throne has now been purified by the pure bhakti of my devotee. Therefore, he sat on that throne and put Hiranyakasipu on his lap. He garlanded himself and held his heart up to show that my devotee never perishes. This is the real meaning of the verse, Api Chet Suduracharo Bhajate Mam Ananya Bhak. Those devotees who are one-pointed Ananya Bhak to Bhagavan can never be destroyed. The love of Jai and Vijay can never be destroyed under any circumstances. Chipram Bhavati Dharmatma. And if you realize this, your bhakti will grow.
Hiranyakasipu ki jai.
Vijay. You understand? We can't do their anugatya. So we have to say Jai Vijay. Or Jai Vijay. Understand? Because we cannot do anugatya to that mood. But the Lord, to show his love, demonstrates it.
Please define Anugatya.
Anugatya means to follow. Right? So we follow favorable moods. So it's Krishna Anukulina, Krishna Anusilana. So those moods are to pratikul, like Rupa Goswami is giving an example of Toshana and the wrestlers that were working for Kamsa. Right? They had pratikul bhav. So we don't follow them. But Jai and Vijay, as Jai and Vijay we can follow. Not us, if your mood is different. But the mood is Hiranyakasipu, Ranaksha, Shishupal, Dantabaka, Rav and Kumbhakana, that mood cannot be followed because it is a speciality of the Leela Shakti of Bhagavan. You understand? Just like Bhishma Dev fighting with Krishna. We cannot imitate that mood. You understand? So he came in order to please Hiranyakasipu or Jai. You understand? That's why Gadadhar Pandit recited this charit in Tota Gopinath to Mahaprabhu. Because by this he showed how deep the love between Bhagavan and his devotees are. You understand? And at night time, Mahaprabhu would take the udipan of understanding how much love Narasimha had, or Narayan had for his doorkeepers, and think how much love the gopis have for Krishna. Then hearing the kavya of Chandidas, kavya means poetry, of Chandidas, Jayadev Goswami, etc., he would drink the nectar of that praying which was stimulated by the Bhagavatam spoken by Gadadhar on Narasimha Prahalad Charit. Yeah? So this charit, this pastime is so high class of love. You understand? This. So very quickly, because we are late, any quick questions that may be there?
The four Kumaras, are they also in the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela?
Yes, as the Nidhi brothers. Nidhi brothers. That's not a gang. Yeah. What is that? Sunidhi. There are four brothers and their last name is Nidhi. The four Kumaras appeared as the Nidhi brothers. Pancha Pandavas appeared as the sons of Bhavananda Roy. Right? Lakshmi Devi appeared as Lakshmi Priya. Bhu Devi appeared as Vishnu Priya. Everybody gets to come to Gaur Leela. All the previous devotees. Jai and Vijay came as Jagai and Madai.
Yes.
So they were rewarded beyond their Vaikuntha Bhav. Haridas Thakur. Prahlad came in Haridas Thakur, yes.
Murari Gupta is Hanuman, correct?
Hanuman.
Even Shiva.
Uddhava, Paramananda Puri.
Shiva also?
Huh?
Shiva?
Shiva, he's there in the Dham. Yeah, he's there in the Dham. He's Satrapal. Right, any other last questions before the Abhishek?
Abhishek's a cake.
Okay.
You mentioned that Prahlad Maharaj heard the Hari Katha from Narada Muni while he was in the womb.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, even though he was surrounded by demons, he became purified. So would that be something that happened in that area? Like right now we're in Kali Yuga, and some of us who entered Grihastha life and try to gain good consciousness while during conception of our children. Yet our children are born and seems like they have their own karma, their own path, regardless of what samskaras we observe for their benefit. So is this an effect of Kali Yuga? Is this an effect of our consciousness? How would you explain that?
Prahlad is the eternal associate. He is the Prahlad who performs this pastime is an expansion of Nityasiddha Prahlad. The Prahlad who performs this pastime was in a previous life the son of Vashu Sharma. Understand? And he was having association with one prostitute. One time they had an argument. In that argument, they both left the house in the darkness of rain and storms. They went to an abandoned Narasimha temple. Right? In that temple, they lit lights so they could see what they were doing, and they were going like this. The results of that was he took birth in a demoniac family, but because Hiranyakasipu, as I mentioned, was absorbed in the name of Narayan, and because of his previous samskars of being in that temple, he took birth as Bhakta Prahlad as we know it. Narada Muni Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that both Narada Muni, who became the son of a maidservant, and Prahlad, who became the son of Hiranyakasipu, are expansions of the Nityasiddha, Nard, and Prahlad. In our case, we are not Nityasiddha. We have been a Nadibhada. So we're unfolding in the process of bhakti. Therefore, those children who come through our arrangement are also coming through with their own individual karmic portfolios. Right? Whatever bhakti samskars they have, mixed with whatever material samskars they have, those two things combine, and it becomes a manifestation of what it is from one year to another. Though it is not predestined, the influence of either Avidya Shakti or the Paravidya Shakti, means spiritual energy, will be more prominent on them, maybe at different times in their lives. But because we are not Nityasiddha, we're not the bearers of Swarup Shakti. Therefore, we don't have an axiomatic ability to implant that in children when we have them.
What time Lord Narasimha appeared, and how long was the fight?
With Hiranyakasipu? I can't remember. The fight went on for quite some time. And then the demigods, when it started to get dark, they then asked him to stop. But I don't know how that calculation goes in terms of years. You understand? Because it's not an ordinary thing. They're fighting in the Swarga, not ordinary things. And then, of course, after Narasimha is pacified by Prahlad Maharaj, 7th canto, 9th chapter, with all the prayers, then Narasimha, in picking up Prahlad Maharaj and holding him, the feeling of Vatsalya praying comes into his heart. And it's in this incarnation he makes a vow he'll never appear again from any wondrous impersonal sources, like from the nose of Brahma or from a pillar or anything. He wants to have a mother and father. So every successive incarnation, the Lord has a mother and father. Rupa Goswami, because of the features of Palana and Posan, means protecting and nourishing, Narasimha is listed as the deity of Vatsalya Prem.
Didn't he also tell Brahma that he should never give any of these bones ever again like this, because he had so much power that he was actually able to change like the weather, he was able to change like day into night.
I can't remember if it was with Hiranyakasipu, but this may have been with Ravan. Because then Ravan comes, and Ravan also got boons from Brahma.
Oh.
So he went directly. So I think he told this to Ravan.
But there,
as well.
There was no other form like Hiranyakasipu. There was not.
Ravan was no joke.
But actually, compared to Ravana, there's that story. He couldn't even pick up the earring. There was one pastime when he came upon this, and that was actually it turned out it was the earring of Hiranyakashipu He couldn't even pick up the earring of Hiranyakashipu. That's how powerful Hiranyakashipu is.
Yeah, actually that was the grandson of Prahlad that did that. Prahlad kept the earring in his treasury.
Mm-hmm.
And he came and he was bragging, I think it was Bali Maharaj was bragging, yeah, I'll be able to conquer Vishnu, this, that, this and that. And he says, oh really? I can't remember if it was Bali or Virochan maybe. One or two, they came. He said, yeah, Virochan, he told, okay, I want you to do me a favor, go to the treasury and bring me this ruby earring.
He told that to...
He told to Virochan. Virochan went, he couldn't even lift it. He went back and says, what is that? He says, that's the earring of Hiranyakasipu who was destroyed by Vishnu.
Yeah, and Ravana also tried to lift it at some...
Also Ravan, many things Ravan tried and didn't work out.
He was trying to build a staircase also to the heavenly planets.
It's been a long time since I read Jagadharma, and I was just wondering, and I'm not sure if I read it properly, but I read somewhere that that Lord Nrsimhadev is a Naimitaka incarnation. So does that mean that he only comes like in this life? Does he go to like other planets?
He has an eternal planet.
Yeah.
He is called Paravasta Avatar. In Laghu Bhagavatamrita of Rupa Goswami, he describes various Guna avatars, Leela avatars. But Nrsimha's Paravasta means Nrsimha, Ramachandra, and Krishna. What is the verse? Nrsimha, Rama, Krishneshu, Sat Aishwarya, Sat Puranam. That they are the embodiment of all the 6 opulences in full. Nrsimhadev is actually, which is back to our original conversation, Nrsimhadev is actually directly a manifestation of Krishna.
Yeah.
He has all the same opulences as Krishna. What is the uniqueness of Krishna over all the other avatars? Huh? Jiva Goswami mentioned.
And also the... And
Hold on
his
one
feet.
second. His feet, yeah, his feet, footmarks.
His footmarks.
But Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami's quoted it. And Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur repeats it in Madhurya Kandamini. What is this verse? Srila Bhakti Sri Maharaj, when he came, he spoke this verse. It's very beautiful. And he had me go home and look it up. What is the verse? Now I better not forget this verse. Oh, Bhagavat Stavad. Asadharana. Aishwarya Madhurya Tattva Vise. Swarup Paramananda. He says here that among the category of Bhagavan, one cannot claim to be the original Bhagavat Stavad unless he is asadharana in that category. The word asadharana means uncommon. So how is Krishna uncommon in the category of God? Venu Madhuri, Rupa Madhuri, Prem Parikar Madhuri, Lila Madhuri. And because of those 4 types of Madhuri, he influences the highest kind of Ananda. Swarup Paramananda means what? Swarup Parama Ananda. Ladini Sara Prem, Prem Sara Bhav, Bhav Paramakasta Nam. Mahabhav Swarupini Shri Radha Thakurani. So Swarup Paramananda means Krishna Swarup is composed of Radhika. So he's Asadharana, because no other incarnation has the fullness of Mool Shakti except Krishna. Every manifestation of Shakti will descend from there. Whether it's the Mahishis in Dwarka, Sita Devi, Lakshmi Devis, etc. You understand? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote, Ramani Shiromani, Rishabhanu Nandini, Nilavashana Paridana. He says that her glory, Radhika's glory, exceeds Sachi, Lakshmi, all. Gauri, even Chandravali. Radhika's glory exceeds all of them because she can bring Krishna completely under her control. Is that?
Guruji, we hear this Nrsimha Leela, and almost always the Leela we hear to this point of Nrsimhadev killing Hiranyakashipu, Lord Maharaj pacifying him with prayers, and Nrsimhadev picking him on his lap, licking him this. But there's also other forms of Nrsimha that are worshipped in India, like in yoga or with Lakshmi Devi. So what is the origin of these forms, and does this Leela of Nrsimha continue past this point in other Leelas? Does he?
Actually, this form of Nrsimha is Ugra Nrsimha. But always eternally there exists Yog Nrsimha, there's Nrsimha as the chakra, Sudarshan chakra, there's Lakshmi Narasimha. They all simultaneously eternally exist. So the question then becomes, well, why did Lakshmi Devi herself and Prahlad say, Adrishva Apurvata, I never saw this form before. That's the wonder of the Leela. You understand? That it appears this has never happened before. You understand?
Yeah. And
That's
they
the
also
beauty of the Leela.
They also claim that some of those forms that she's talking about, like the other, are self-manifested forms. Some of them are even like thousands.
But the original form
thousands of
has
different
vilas, mortis. It has so many expansion forms of different pastimes.
That's why his Prahlad Maharaj in the previous form or previous life, he went to a Narasimha temple where.
He didn't know it was a Narasimha temple though.
Yeah, but I'm saying like.
Oh right, there was a temple there.
He's being worshipped
Right,
before
right.
he ever.
Are you sure that Narayan is telling Jaya Vijay you can choose between 3 births or 7 births? Because I heard one class by one Pandit, he says, nowhere it is said this story.
No.
3 births,
Well,
7
first,
births.
Gurudev said, I consider Gurudev Pandit of Pandits. 1. 2, actually, it is written in Sandarbhas also. Jiva Goswami comes and he says, and in Bhagavatam, in Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam, he says, he offered, he says he offered that 7 births or not. So, and also who's Pandit these days? I mean, I'm giving respect and I don't know this person. But so many things are written. Gurudev told that Kaikeyi asked Ram asked Kaikeyi to be banished to the forest. Right? So I have absolute faith in Gurudev. I went back, I looked at all Valmiki Ramayana, not written one place in there.
What about Ramcharitmanas?
Not written in Ramcharitmanas. Even the Ram Lekha is not written in Valmiki Ramayana.
Yes,
The Lakshman Rekha is not written in Valmiki Ramayana. So I went to Gurudev, we were on a morning walk in Houston. I said, Gurudev, I looked in Valmiki Ramayana. Says so many Ramayans. So back to the drawing board. Well, first, Pujapad Madhava Maharaj then said, if you want to find it, you'll find it in Dakshin Ramayana. Means the Ramayana in South India. So then went back, looking through all things, scrolling to this and that, boom, in Dakshin Ramayana. Then in Dakshin Ramayana, the Lakshman Rekha is not written. So there's Pandits who study the commentary of Govindaraj and others who say, no, our commentators say this, like this circle or line of Lakshman is anywhere. But I believe it's in Ramcharitmanas. But in Ramcharitmanas, he does not write the genesis of Ramayana. The genesis of Ramayana is in Uttarakhand. It tells how everything beginning. Because Valmiki and Ram were living at the same time.
Yeah.
You understand? So, then how would he write everything that happened before? So Brahma told him, listen, look at your palm. When you look at your palm, everything you don't know will appear there.
Wow.
Understand? So many pastimes in Ramayana, so many deep things. Right? Any other last questions and so forth? Let's have a couple of minutes.
So going back to the point that Narasimhadev is eternal, it has its own planet. Like I remember looking at the universe, the picture of the whole universe and the whole, stages and stuff. And there's a, you can see Narasimhadev's planet and then Ram's planet and then Golok Vrindavan and all this stuff. So going back to your point that you said Narasimhadev, Ram, and Krishna are the originals.
They're like Paravasta,
Yeah.
the highest category of Bhagavan.
So is Narasimhadev also in the highest rise?
No, it's not by Rasvichar. It's that it says Sad Aishwarya Purnapitam. It means, or Purna. It means that they have all 6 opulences in full. So I asked one time somebody to kind of explain it, and they said it's like the potential of all powers there in all the forms of Bhagavan. All the Leela avatars, everything. In Shaktivesha avatar, some specific amount of power is given for a particular purpose. But in Ram, Nrsimha, and Krishna, full Aishwarya. But even in that category, right, Ram still does not have qualities that Krishna possesses, and neither does Nrsimhadev. But they're full in all 6 opulences. You can find this in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita.
So they are the Supreme Personality of God.
All the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but it's the categories. Rupa Goswami is breaking them into
When you
categories.
break it down like that, yeah.
To show what is the nature of their particular feature of Bhagavatam.
Well, that's not their mood either. I mean, their mood
No,
is also different.
but Nrsimhadev also has some speciality. Because where does Nrsimhadev go after all this is over with?
To wash his hands.
Where?
Nowadays.
At the
The
Sripali.
Srimapali.
Sripali.
And Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays to him to get Radha Krishna Seva. Understand? The Nrsimhadev's special mood.
Did it appear in South India or where?
No, that's in Vrindavan.
Yeah, in the Hogalam, in South India, they say that's the place where P and his Leela took place. But that could be like Vrindavan in Bhu Lok Vrindavan. Our Vrindavan here is the Prakash of Nitya Braj. So like a Prakash of his Leela Stan, because they said it took place in the heavenly planets, could be at a Hogalam.
That's where you can find the nine,
Different
nine
forms of the
temples,
Shringa.
the nine
Yeah.
temples. I actually went there.
You went through the caves and the
I went
water
to
and all
all
that?
9 temples, yes.
Okay.
I almost died there.
Just give your blessings. I will not see it this lifetime. But I remember I was in Braj, maybe my second time in Vrindavan, and I wanted to kind of go as many places I could. So I was very close friends with Ayendra, and I told Ayendra, hey, Prabhu, yes, I'm going to try to get the bus tomorrow. I want to go to Dwarka. I haven't been to Dwarka. He just looked at me like, really? And I went the next day, tried to get the bus, missed the bus. Next day I went, the bus was not running. Following day I went to the bus terminal, tried to go again, there was some other problem. So I said, either Ayendra cursed it or, it says it wasn't meant to be. I eventually went to Dwarka, that was another trip. But, and then now, if I was to talk to Ayendra, I'd say, it's a very unique thing. Because what is Mathura and Dwarka? What does Dwarka mean?
Isn't that the same as Vaikuntha?
What does Dwarka mean? Dwara Kaha. From where has the door to this place come? Where has the door or the entrance to Dwarka come? Krishna was in Mathura. He went to sleep one night. He woke up the next day and they heard the Jamuna very nearby Mathura. And the Jamuna was going. The next morning, all the Mathura Vasis woke up and they heard waves crashing. They looked outside. That's not the Jamuna. You understand? How did that happen? Jiva Goswami mentions in Gopal Champa. Messengers used to go back and forth, always between Mathura and Braj. And they went and they told, there's some plan. Now that Kamsa has been killed, his daughters, Asti and Prapti, their father Jarasandha is extremely upset. He's making some plan, maybe to attack Mathura even. And Krishna is very, very worried because all Brajabasis are living close by. The Mathura is not meant for this. They're not big time fighters, anything. So many things are going on. Immediately, Nanda Baba called all the priests in Braj. They sat around, what should we do? We should do a yajna for Krishna's protection. So then they put all the elements together, Havan, Samagri, everything. They started doing the yajna. The Brajabasis were so absorbed in thinking of Krishna's protection. Every time they would throw the grains, they would say, Swaha, may Krishna's head be protected. Swaha, may his limbs be protected. Swaha, may no harm come to him. Swaha, may he be surrounded by a powerful fort. Swaha, may the ocean protect him. Swaha, may Jarasandha never be able to get anywhere near him. Swaha. In this way, the Brajabasis, by their desire, created Dwarka.
Wow.
Their desire is so supreme that when the Mathura Vasis woke up, Dwara Kaha, from where has this place come?
That's incredible.
That's Jiva Goswami.
I mean, it's also incredible because then we also talk about how Vrindavan and Dwarka and the different mood and the whole thing when Krishna goes to Dwarka, he has a whole different.
Also, Dwarka is very important for those who are doing Raganuga Sadhan. Why? Not practically in our sadhana, but Mathura and Dwarka, they are called Virohe Prakash of Braj. Because the mood of separation comes when Krishna goes to Mathura. When did the gopis first reveal their love for Krishna? Openly.
Wasn't it when Akrura was taking him?
When Akrura was on the chariot taking Krishna, that's the first time they openly revealed. Visraja Laja Rudasma Suswaram Govinda Damo Daramadavati Govinda Damo Daramadavati. This is where they sang this song when Krishna was going. Visraja Laja, they gave up all their shyness. Rudasma, they were crying. Suswaram, they sang in one swar, means Saregamapadanisa. They took one swar which was filled with so much mood and singing Govinda Damodar Madhavati. So now everybody knew all these girls were in love with Krishna. They didn't care. They never went back home also, you know that, right? Never went back home. They stayed at Udavkari for 90 days. Then they went to Nanda Bhavan to comfort Mother Yashoda. Understand? So now, Krishna was in Mathura, only just a little bit away. And there, Krishna used to send messages back and forth all the time. It got to a point where he wanted to send very confidential messages. Gacha Udava Somyam Pitaro Pitriavaha Mad Gopi Viyogadim Mat Sandeshai Vimochaya. O gentle Udav, please take my message. Pitaro means, in Sanskrit means, like that owl means dual case, so it means our parents. So he's telling to Uddhava, you should treat Nanda and Yashoda just like they're your mother and father. Prityavaha, show them affection just like they were your own mother and father. To the gopis, you cannot do that. So Mad Gopi Viyogadim. The gopis are in Viyog, they're in great separation. So Mat Sandeshai Vimochaya. Give them freedom from their suffering by giving them my sandesh, my message. You understand? So now, the separation mood is very thick there. But the highest kind of separation mood is called Sudur Pravas. The word Sudur Pravas means when Krishna goes to a distant place, very far away, he stays there for a very long time, and he comes under the control of others. That place is called Dwarka. In order to then have some Riddhiman Sambhog, it means meeting after long separation, this Sudur Pravas is necessary. Where does some Riddhiman Sambhog take place? At Kurukshetra. Therefore, Mathura and Dwarka are very important because they're the epitome of separation moods. We don't meditate on Dwarka Lila. We only think Krishna's there and he's suffering. And that Lalita, of course Krishna's in Mathura then, but in Hamsadut, she's telling the swan to go to Mathura and give a message. Like this. So all these kind of deep separation moods, Mathura and Dwarka facilitate that. But from our point of view, we think Krishna's suffering in these places. Krishna's suffering so much in these places, he's not eating well. Why? Because one time, a message was sent to him. And in that message, Lalita told him that when Krishna was small, I'm going to finish this now, that he used to have a very good affection for one calf that was growing up. So Lalita gave a description of this calf that is now trying to grow into a cow. Gave a description. Tell Krishna, this calf is never fully grown because he stopped eating from the day he left. So now this tried to grow to a cow, but only bones and skin are there. The eyes have become so filled with tears, and the tears dry, and the crust from the tears have built up. So you know. Okay, it's Abhishek.
Wonderful.
Primo, Jai.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
It's too cold, no, for the bathroom.
Probably turn that towards the music. Turn towards the You can back it up a little bit too. Not yet. When they start up down the verse.
349, 349. Pralaya prayodi jale ekavanna sivedam vihita vahita charitamkedam. Everybody, pralaya prayodi jale ekavanna sivedam vihita vahitra charitamkedam keshavadita nina sharinam jai jagadisha jai jagadisha dharani dharana Chaturdasi dharani dharana Keshav Jana Gita Vamana Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Maye jagat aparata papa Abhayati ayati samita bhavata Shabadita Bhagavati Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Rasi Bhikshurane Vipati Kamaniya Dasa Mukha Mori Bali Brahmaniya Rasi Bhikshurane Vipati Kamaniya Dasa Mukha Mori Bali Brahmaniya Keshava Gita Rama Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jayo Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Hare Vapushi Vishade Vasanam Jaladavam Halahati Dhiti Milita Yamunavam Mahasiva Pushi Vishade Halahati Dhiti Milita Yamunavam Shavadita Maladara Rupa Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Vidra aha shruti jata sadaya hridaya darshita pashugatam shruti jata sadaya hridaya darshita pashugatam Keshavadita Gora Sharira Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Hare Jagadish Hare Lichami Bahani Dhane Kalayasi Karavata Dhumate Tumivati Bhakti Karala Lichami Bahani Dhane Kalayasi Karavata Dhumate Tumivati Bhakti Karala Keshavadita Kaiti Sarira Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Deva Kave Idamodita Modara Shri Shubhadam Shukadam Bhavasaram Shri Jaya Deva Kave Idamodita Modara Shri Shubhadam Shukadam Bhavasaram Keshavadita Satadivarupa Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jagadish Hare Narahari Rupa Jaya Lakshmi Nrsimha Jaya Lakshmi Nrsimha Lakshmi Nrsimha Jaya Lakshmi Nrsimha Jaya Nara Hari Jaya Nara Hari Nara Hari Jaya Nara Hari Jaya Nara Hari Jaya Nara Hari Nara Hari Jaya Nara Jai Guru Deva Jai Guru Deva Guru Deva Jai Guru Jai Guru Deva Jai Guru Deva Jai Guru Deva Guru Deva Guru Deva Jai Guru Deva Shri Simha Jaya Simha Jai Jai Nrsimha Shri Simha Jai Nrsimha Jai Jai Nrsimha Shri Simha Jai Nrsimha Jai Jai Nrsimha Shri Simha Jai Nrsimha Jai Jai Nrsimha Mukha Padma Vrinda Radha Kaya Padma Mukha Padma Vrinda Nrsimha Jai Jai Radha Jai Jai Nrsimha Jai Jai Nrsimha Jai Jai Radha 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 Jai Jai Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Gala Gala Gadayine Gala Gala Gadayine Ranga Kashi Purvataha Ranga Kashi Purvataha Silakanka Nakalaya Silakanka Nakalaya Nrsimha Parat Nrsimha Nrsimha Parat Nrsimha Nrsimha Jaya Parat Nrsimha Yatoya Toya Mitato Nrsimha Yatoya Toya Mitato Nrsimha Vahe Nrsimha Jaya Nrsimha Vahe Nrsimha Jaya Nrsimha Vahe Nrsimha Jaya Nrsimha Nrsimha Madi Karanam Prabhade Narasimha Madi Charanam Prabhade Nrsimha Madi Charanam Prabhade Narasimha Madi Charanam Prabhade Narasimha Hare Charanam Prapade Narasimha Hare Charanam Prapade Narasimha Hare Charanam Prapade Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Radha Radha Dayane Radha Radha Dayane Hiranyashi Purvataha Hiranyashi Purvataha Hiranyashi Kalaye Hiranyashi Kalaye Hritori Simho Bharatori Simho Hritori Simho Bharatori Simho Yato Yato Yame Tato Ahiri Simho Jayere Simho Ahiri Simho Jayere Simho Narasimha Hare Charanam Prapade Narasimha Hare Charanam Prapade Narasimha Hare Charanam Prapade Avakara Kamalavare Nakam Prabhuta Simha Kalita Hiranya Kashipu Tano Vrinda Avakara Kamalavare Nakam Avakara Kamalavare Nakam Madhuta Simha Kalita Hiranya Kashipu Tano Vrinda Avakara Kamalavare Nakam Kalita Hiranya Kashipu Tano Vrinda Jai Jagadeesha Hare Kesavadita Narahare Rupa Jai Jagadeesha Jagadeesha Hare Jaya Jagadeesha Hare Jaya Jagadeesha Hare Jaya Jagadeesha Hare Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gaura Hari Bol Jai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Hare Gopal Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopal Nandala 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 Gopal Nandala Hey Gopal Nandala Gopal Nandalal, hey Gopal Nandalal. Govinda Govinda Gopal Nandalal, Krishna Govinda Govinda. Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopal Nandalal. Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopal Nandala Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopal Nandala Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopal Nandala Krishna Govinda 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Jai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Sinhadeva Bhagavan ki jai Prahlad Maharaj ki jai
No, Arti. It already happened.
Huh?
Already happened.